Hello, my name is Christina Tobitsch, Education Manager for the Brooklyn Bridge Park Conservancy. Over the last 3 years, our education department has collaborated with numerous like-minded organizations and educators to develop a partnership and data sharing network, which we now refer to as the East River Ichthyological Alliance, or ERIA. The purpose of our collaboration is to combine and examine community science data through various fishing programs we lead along the East River. This includes seining, rod and reel fishing, and trapping with oyster monitoring cages or killie traps. Alone, each site has some sense of water quality and fish diversity, but jointly our data begins to provide a clearer picture of East River conditions and trends among species. The goals and objective of this project range from standardizing data collection methods to developing lesson plans for students using real local data. Our project got off the ground when we received an MCD small grant from New York Sea Grant in 2019. Part of that funding was used to build an online database in which 9 organizations, as well as numerous individuals who recreationally fish the East River, all contributed data to. In the first year of pooling our data, we had over 47 unique species identified through our surveying, and nearly 9,300 fish were observed in total. Now, another component of the project was to expand data collection opportunities along the East River by developing new educational community fishing programs and providing support to pre-existing programs. 2 of the biggest locations for new community science angling clinics included beginner programs at the Brooklyn Bridge Park and intermediate programs at Randall's Island. At Brooklyn Bridge Park Conservancy, as well as other area partner sites, we really aim to grow the next generation of environmental stewards and conservationists through our fishing programs. We talk with our participants about pollution problems and fishing regulations. We teach them to identify local species. We have them help us with measuring fish lengths and other data collection and using scientific tools. There is so much educational and scientific value that community fishing programs can provide. While our site has been conducting seining on the East River since 2008, the opportunity to expand into rod and reel programs further expanded the opportunities we had to reconnect New Yorkers to their waterfront, as well as discover some of the largest species of fish that frequent the area and we wouldn't otherwise be catching in our seining nets. To date, this project has produced 2 published papers, 3 lesson plans, each designed for a different academic level, and hundreds of engaged and enlightened community members. None of this would be possible without the enthusiasm, effort, and commitment of Dr. Peter Park of Farmingdale University. Peter, like many others, shared a vision to make the data from seining and rod and reel programs more meaningful, more useful, and more accessible. I'd like to take a moment just to thank him for initiating and spearheading this project. We really need more people like Dr. Park who are eager to bridge the gap between communities and scientists. Traditionally, local angling knowledge, data from education programs, and data from researchers are all usually kept within their own communities, their own little bubbles. A lot of community science data collected with students especially gets filed away and never sees the light of day after a program is over. But we want to change that. And bringing different stakeholders together comes with its own challenges and hesitations. However, there is a shared desire to monitor the health and vitality of the East River, and that's what's making our project work. Now, ideally, this is a long-term study of East River fish diversity, so we've only just begun. Currently, the pooled data is accessible only to the organizations that are contributing to the project or on a request basis to other interested teachers, researchers, or environmental agencies. Eventually, the hope is to have a publicly accessible front-end website that disseminates some of the key data in an easy, digestible way and provides some other learning resources. And the ultimate dream would be to have a real-time water quality sensor in the East River to collect more accurate water quality data. You can follow our catches and future progress on Facebook at East River Fish Project NYC and www.eastriverfishproject.com. Lastly, I would like to share with you a short video created by one of our amazing area colleagues, Chris Gergenti, from Randall's Island Park Alliance. You'll hear a little bit more about our project, some of the partners who are involved, and why we are so passionate about this work. Enjoy.
This is the story of a community across a watershed coming together to help protect and better understand the incredible resource of the East River by connecting others with the vibrant and wild communities that can be found under the surface and along its shores. It's a story about bringing people back to their estuary to create lasting connections between our waters, our communities, and our wildlife. This is a story about the groups that came together to support a common goal and create a project to celebrate and better understand our shared waters. But first, a little about where I work and how we fit into this amazing effort. Randall's Island Park is located in the heart of New York City. Two great estuaries, the Long Island Sound and Hudson River, converge around the island, forming the East and Harlem rivers. Nestled between the neighborhoods of East Harlem, the South Bronx, and Astoria, Queens, Randall's Island is an oasis for New Yorkers to play sports, enjoy the outdoors, or participate in one of our many free public events, from movie nights to field trips to yoga. Randall's Island has something for everyone. Right where the waters meet the land, daily tides pulsing along our shoreline bring with them plants and animals from the ocean and our rivers. While many parts of our city are blocked off from the water by highways and walls, Randall's Island allows our team of educators and researchers to come right up to the edge and explore the life that thrives around the island and share that with our public. Using seine nets and fishing rods, we survey the shoreline. In turn, we share and use that data to bring New Yorkers of all ages back to the rivers that were once an everyday part of life here in the city. But what makes our effort even more important is that we're not alone. The East River Ichthyological Alliance is a collaboration of 7 different stewardship organizations serving the East River. Together, we collect shared data on the life that lives below the surface. When we survey for fish, we record their size, species, and abundance. We also look at the waters the fish are collected from, testing for salinity, temperature, dissolved oxygen, and other important indicators of a healthy environment. We invite the public to join us at events along the waterfront to learn more and participate with us. All of the information is collected into a single database that allows students, researchers, and others to use our data to better understand the health of our river and hopefully take actions that can improve the resource for everyone. We are a community participating in a community science experiment. We're working to create a new, adaptive, and engaging approach to better understanding the East River. But don't just take my word for it.
I'm Devin Gorson. I lead the New York City Regional Environmental Education team for New York State Park.
I work for the I Fish New York program, which is within the New York State DEC Bureau of Fisheries.
My name is Kellen. I work at the Lower East Side Ecology Center.
My name is Christina, and I'm with the Brooklyn Bridge Park Conservancy.
Hi, my name's Haley McClanahan, and I'm with Brooklyn Bridge Park Conservancy.
My name is Steve, and I work for the Region 2 Bureau of Fisheries.
I'm Jackie Wu, and I'm with the Randall's Island Park Alliance.
These individuals and others make up 7 organizations that make this effort possible.
In addition to field trips and stewardship opportunities for school groups and families in New York City. And we get into wildlife research, most recently with the East River Ichthyological Alliance, being able to make our data collection more robust, scientific, and meaningful, in collaboration with other organizations on the East River has been a huge opportunity for us.
Both education and stewardship are actually written into the New York State Parks mission. I think that wildlife monitoring is one of the most important and accessible forms of stewardship here in New York City. It's a really vital part of our educational programming. We like to use this inquiry-based and action-oriented education method for as many of our programs as possible, and I think that wildlife monitoring is a really cool way of engaging the public and our school groups in that.
Our wildlife research is more within the actual scope of our Bureau of Fisheries. We do regular fish surveys, which are our outreach program, which is the one part of our work that touches on saltwater. We don't necessarily do a lot of wildlife research as part of our outreach program. Until recently, working with the ERIA program, where we've actually been able to write down species of fish that we've caught and also have some physical information on those fish.
Surveying and seining down underneath the Manhattan Bridge in Dumbo. And that was actually 2 years before even the first part of the park was open. It gave us the opportunity to connect people back to their waterfront, which there had been some disconnect for quite a while. We also discovered that there was pretty rich diversity hanging out in the East River, things like starfish, pufferfish, seahorses. We were catching them all in those early years of seining. Now we're up to, I think, year 13 in our seining program. So we've started to build up a pretty robust data set of fish data as well as water quality data.
Community science to me means public engagement in the scientific process. And I think even more than just like general public engagement, but engagement of all stakeholders in the scientific process. And I think it's important for everybody to be able to be involved in scientific research at all steps of the process. So from asking the questions to developing the methods and doing the data collection, which is a big part of what we do here, as well as analyzing the data and communicating it to the public. And so for us here, it's fish and the East River.
To me, community science is involving members of the public in what we are doing as an agency, actually doing scientific research, which by getting people involved in their local environment and collecting scientific data can help, I think, instill a sense of stewardship into these resources as well.
To me, it means that anybody and everybody can have an interest in what's going on around them and that they can impact what's happening around them.
I'm always interested and excited when we catch tropical strays that come up the Gulf Stream in late summer, early fall. And keeping record of that and learning about those species is always like an exciting, fun fact that I like to tell people too, because we've had butterfly fish and some other puffers and things in our tanks here in our education center, and people don't believe when I say like, we caught that right out here, but it's just a visitor to these waters in late summer. So also very important for recording those things because people need to know about how far certain species are migrating and all of that. So just being a part of all of that has also been really amazing.
I think it's the diversity of the East River and the communities that reside upon it and the waterfront land uses, the commercial and recreational traffic of the body. All of that same diversity is sort of reflected in the membership of ERIA in the tactics and strategies. And our results are quite different, in some cases similar, but being able to really understand this body of water which hasn't received the proper scholarly attention.
I think ERIA is such a cool example of community science, successful community science in action. I think that we've done a really great job of connecting all of these different pieces and stakeholders of people and organizations that are around the East River and that care about the East River. So everyone from the academic community through Peter Park to all of the nature-based organizations and government agencies that have stake here in the East River, to the angling community that fishes the East River, and to the general public who are participating in our events.
Having this one alliance where everybody knows to share their information, share the data, and the fact that we're building a database where you can look at all of this information from all along the East River is really useful.